Kevin Keys. Kevin, you'll be ready now. You'll be ready, ENC. By the door side, I will accompany him. When he speaks, I'll be nodding my head to say this is our agreement. Advocate Mkhize.
Thank you, Chairperson. Mr. O'Sullivan, just for the purposes of completion, following your testimony 2 weeks ago, some of the amendments that you made or submissions that you made when you were testifying had no supporting evidence. So I'd like to just start with that aspect, and then we can complete the questions that were still outstanding. If you could just turn to page 5 of the EXA bundle. Yes. That bundle contained in that EXA pack would have been your complete application when you were applying for head of security at EXA. That's correct.
So I don't know, because I didn't, it looks like,
Okay.
but the reality, Chairman, is that was 20 something years ago, but it looks like,
Yeah.
it looks like it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, the documents, you will confirm whether they are correct, what I'm going to put to you is correct or not. It's got your personal details. There's no reason why we should read out your ID number. But what I'm quite interested in is at this, in the middle of the page where it says education.
Further
There-
education.
Yes, before you get to further education, it just says education. It says that you were educated at Westminster City Grammar School in London and you did O levels, which is exactly what you testified. So you've passed O levels because you couldn't quite
Correct.
remember whether you'd done both
Yes.
O and A.
Yes.
Correct.
I later did
Okay.
A levels, but I didn't put it in here. But anyway.
Okay. And then when you furthered your education, it shows that you went to City and East London Technical College, where you got a certificate in electrical installation. In the previous page, it's more elaborated that you started off as an apprentice. That would be at page 4.
Sorry.
So in the beginning of the first paragraph,
yes,
that's correct.
yes.
So that basically what is narrated on page 4 in the previous page
Yes.
is just basically listed on the next page
Yes,
at page
yes,
5.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
You then continued to study at Oldham College of Technology. And there you did Technician Education Council of Certificate in Electronics. Okay, that was, and then you proceeded to City of London Polytech, where you enrolled for a BSc in Electrical Engineering. However, that was not completed. So you don't hold a BSc in Electrical Engineering.
I've since completed it, but at that time it wasn't completed.
Okay. But that's what's in your application.
Yeah, but that's 26 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the time of the, I'm asking these questions based on your employment at EXA. So at the time that you were employed at EXA, those would have been your qualifications.
Correct.
Okay. So you did not study this at Manchester Technikon College,
It's there in Manchester, Oldham College of Technology.
but it's not called Manchester Technikon. It's called
No,
Oldham
it's in
College.
Manchester. I couldn't
Okay.
remember the name.
All
That
right.
was 40 years ago.
Okay. If we can then just proceed. On the next page.
But the qualification is electrical installation.
Yes. Electrical installation initially, apprenticeship.
Is the
and then-
wiring and the
Yes,
plugs.
exactly,
And
apprenticeship.
the switch on and off
Indeed, Chairperson.
under supervision of a technician.
Indeed, Chairperson. But the following year, he then enrolled and did electronics for 1 year.
Yeah, and I should mention that was a 2-year course. Actually, a 3-year course. I did it in 1 year.
Okay. If we can then move on to the next topic, it's just to put to show that the evidence is now before us. The next topic relates to your application in 1982. That is not on any page before
what page
you.
is that?
It's not on any page before you,
sorry.
but it is regarding the letter that Arinze SC read to you, which would have been your application for permanent residency in 1982. And now I'm just going to deal with just two questions
Okay.
on that topic. I haven't asked the question yet. So in that letter, you confirmed that you had applied for permanent residency in 1982 as guided by,
I think it was work permit.
it was a work permit,
Okay.
yes, to come in and
I
work
only
in South
applied for
Africa.
permanent residency in 1989.
You applied to come and live in South Africa and work,
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
work permit, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
both live and work.
yes.
Yes,
But
okay.
that's a work permit. To live and work here, you need a work permit.
Okay. You also testified that in that period you were working for IBM
Overseas. yeah,
overseas in London.
correct.
Okay. Is there a reason why you didn't consider getting a transfer as an expert into the country, into South Africa? Because South Africa also had IBM offices in Sandton.
Chairman, it's ironic because the offices IBM had in Sandton, I later owned those offices. But the reality is, back then in 1982, which is 44 years ago, Uncle Frank, as we called him, told me that he wanted me to come and live in South Africa, and he offered me all sorts of activities that would be good for me. And in the belief of it, I thought, okay, you know, that sounds good. Let's do it. And that's why I wrote out, he told me what to write, and I wrote out the letter, and I'd completely forgotten about it.
The question, Mr. O'Sullivan, has to do with at the time in 1982. In your letter, you're very specific and you say that you would like to get employment in South Africa. And my question is just really around, you already had employment at IBM in London.
Yes, I was here
And
on
yes,
holiday.
Yes.
And I may well have applied to IBM to transfer. I may well have, you know, as I say, 44 years ago, I can't remember exactly what was going in my mind.
So you say that you may have applied to transfer, but that would have not been successful.
I might
Because-
have done, but I didn't take it any further because I went back to the UK. I was here on holiday. I went back to the UK and I put the idea out of my mind.
Okay. The next topic then that I would like to cover is going back now to your AXA employment. If I can take you to page 'Can you give me just 1 second? To page 40 of the AXA bundle.
Uh-huh.
Yes. In your testimony, you testified, and you also deal with it in your statement, that the reason that you left AXA was because you did not have security clearance. And former Commissioner Celebi had been an integral part of your contract being terminated. But that letter is marked Annexure D, dated 31 January 2003. The notice of termination of services.
Yes.
Yes. The reason why at paragraph 2, it basically starts and states the reason for why your contract was terminated.
That was 2003, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's very easy to understand. And as I've stated already, what we have here is a file with 90-something pages. But if you look at page 72, and I think page 72 is quite important, because page 72 has a headline, "The knives are out."
Yeah, that is a newspaper article.
Yes, but it's...
But I'm talking about the formal letter of
Yes, but
termination.
this relates to this, you see, because if you read, this is a newspaper article from a guy called Sam Muafi, a journalist, who the CEO invited me in September 2002 to come to her office. And then she presented me with this journalist and said, he wants to interview you. And then she left the office. And what this dealt with was the internal fighting that was going on within AXA at the time. And if you look at page 72, I want to go to the column, the right-hand side, but not the last column, the one before the right-hand side. In fact, the middle column, it starts, Hlachla has denied that she breached AXA rules. And this was in connection with a trip that she made to the United Kingdom. On Tuesday, she denied that Kinetic paid for her trip, insisting that it was paid for by the British High Commission. This is very, very relevant.
Mr. O'Sullivan, can I just maybe pause there, because what I wanted to just deal with was the letter of termination. However, I will give you an opportunity.
This is what sits behind that letter of termination.
I'll give you an opportunity, and what I would then maybe propose that we do is that we run this process chronologically.
The problem we're going to have is that I need to leave shortly. So.
Yes, I don't think it will be much longer than this. Yeah, perhaps what we can do is we can start at page 53, just for the sake of completion.
53.
Yes, 53. So at page 53, there is an email from the then CEO of AXA addressed to you. This was in January of 2002, which would have been approximately 6 months after you had joined AXA.
And
that
1 month or 2 months after the CEO had joined
Indeed.
AXA.
How I just would like to go to the contents of the letter. It says alleged security. It's unclear what the subject line is. However, what I would like
alleged security test at JIA.
Yes, what I would like to just deal with is that first paragraph. I have been informed of an unscheduled aircraft incident that took place on 27 January at 11:40. The details of this incident are outlined in the memorandum by those persons that are identified there. And then if you continue, I'm just going to just put this in record, and then I'll afford you an opportunity to respond, because I'm cognizant of time.
Yeah, I'd like to finish.
And then the next page deals with the 2 top airports company officials that are suspended.
Yeah.
And that deals with you and another person who was at the time employed at AXA. Basically, this deals with an allegation that you had an unscheduled aircraft land at OR Tambo from Lanseria, which was known to be your aircraft and flown in by you. That was the misconduct 6 months after you had joined.
Alleged misconduct.
Yes, I say alleged.
Yes.
However, it was investigated. And there is a report to that effect.
Yes.
What I just would like to do is not necessarily to deal with the merits of those allegations, because there are reports and it was finalized. What I seek to do is to show that there was already a complaint before your termination. And the first complaint came 6 months after you joined AXA. And then there was a subsequent one, which set out.
Perhaps what we need to do is address the first complaint.
Okay.
Because then you need to look at page 70. And what page 70 says, and this is the chairman of AXA speaking, that would have been the chairman of the board. And it's dated the 7th of February. And it says, AXA denies suspending 2 of top officials for flying an unscheduled aircraft from Lanseria Airport to Johannesburg International Airport. Mashuda Romano, they've spelt his name wrong, says that the flight was scheduled and no crime was suspected, and says that the suspension relates to an internal matter. And that internal issue, and
Yes,
that was the Kusalani contract, Celebi's involvement in trying to prevent the cancellation, and the CEO's joining forces with Celebi.
Yeah.
So the rest of the stuff, what you're saying, is peripheral to that.
Okay.
And it's just, you know, it's wrong.
Yeah, Mr. O'Sullivan, that with all due respect, that's a newspaper article.
Yeah.
I'm just taking you through the AXA official documents at this stage.
Which
and
have
the
been,
reason
which have
why
been sanitized.
Yes, the reason why I'm taking you through these documents is because we're putting in evidence relating to the reason for your termination at AXA, which had been testified that it was due to security, you not having security clearance.
That's what triggered
Yes,
it.
precisely. So I'm just for the sake of
Yeah, yeah.
completion, it's
All
to
right.
put the evidence into the record.
But that's what triggered it. That's what started the process. In fact, what started the process can be seen by AXA's own record at page 87.
Okay. I would now like to take you to, you then instituted proceedings after you were terminated, after
Yep.
your contract was terminated.
Yep.
You instituted proceedings at the High Court
Correct.
for 20 million rand against AXA and the former CEO.
Actually, it was 17 million rand.
The total is 20. If you go to page 50,
50.
yeah, page 50 of the document,
Let me have a look.
it is 17.4 for special damages, but for general damages, it's about 2.5 million. So the total of 20 million.
It's a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's at page 50.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are your summons that you issued.
Correct.
And they start, the particulars of claims start at page 44. Page 45
Yep.
is a complaint that you have been wrongfully defamed.
Correct.
Paragraph 6.2 deals with publications that specifically defame you,
Correct.
as well as 7.1.
Uh-huh.
Specifically at 7.1, it reads, in a publication of the Mail and Guardian newspaper during November 2001, wherein allegations of and concerning the plaintiff was that the plaintiff had unlawfully acquired computerized voice stress equipment from the United States, and that the plaintiff being investigated for alleged assault. The following paragraph is a letter dated 23 January 2002, the second defendant being the former CEO, to the plaintiff, in which the plaintiff unjustifiably accused of sexual harassment. The following paragraph at 7.3 is an email dated 30 January. These are all your complaints. An email dated 30 January 2002, addressed by the second defendant, being the former CEO, well, CEO at the time. And these are the misconduct allegations specifically against you in relation to your employment at AXA.
Which were published.
That you were accused of participating in an unscheduled aircraft incident on the 27th of January at Johannesburg.
Yes. So I can
and
just
then-
stop for 1 second.
Yes, I'm reading just your summary.
No, but you just jumped a bit. It says in an email addressed by the second, Tali Moema and Pitt, in which the second defendant knowingly and without justification made these allegations. So I'm not
Yes.
accepting. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm just, all I'm setting out are the allegations. I've
Okay.
specifically said allegations that were made,
Which
and
I'm saying
which
was-
were also
no.
supported by
Yeah.
formal letters
Yes.
on AXA letterheads. Okay, then the following page is that on 4 February 2002, the defendant informed journalists and caused journalists to be informed about your suspension. And And then at paragraph 7.91, which is at page 48, are further misconduct allegations. That there had been the statement referred, it was a suggestion that you, Mr. O'Sullivan, had been responsible for a 115 million cargo heist at Johannesburg International Airport in December of 2001, which would have been about 5 months after you had joined as the head of security.
Correct.
And then 7.93 says your complaint was that it was suggested that you were the reason for no action having been taken place against the National Police Commissioner, Jackie Silebi, when he told an airport official that he had a bomb in his bag.
Yeah, so
And then it continues. I'm going to give you a moment, a second. In your summons, which were instituted on the 13th of March 2003, a month and a half after you had your contract had been terminated at AXA, everything that is outlined, all the averments that are outlined in your summons, in your particulars of claim, speak to the various allegations of misconduct,
false allegations. Yeah.
allegations of misconduct, which eventually led to your contract being terminated. And nowhere in your own summons do you deal with Mr. Silebi late Commissioner Silebi being the reason why your contract was terminated. The only allegation you make in relation to Mr. Silebi is about him having allegedly been in possession of a bomb.
Yes, so at the time...
Would you like to comment?
Yes, at the time the summons was issued, we didn't have all the information that later came out, but I'd already opened a docket against Jackie Silebi. Now, my lawyers advised me that I either had to include Jackie Silebi as a respondent or a defendant in the claim, or leave him out. And if I left him out, I shouldn't put any averments in there. So we parked that, but we later amended and went after Jackie Silebi as well. So that all took place.
Okay. Thank you. So do you concede that at the time when you your contract was terminated at AXA, there was no reason for you to believe that Mr. Commissioner Silebi had been the reason why you were terminated, and there's also no reason why you would have thought it was due to not having security clearance?
No, absolutely, I believed it was.
Were you aware of that as at 31 January?
Yes.
Okay.
And I verbalized that, but my lawyers advised me at the time that I shouldn't include it. It should be a separate action against Jackie Silebi, which it later was.
Okay. I would now like to take you to I've got just two last questions.
The problem is I'm going to miss my flight, and I think we need to wrap now. So I did say I'd be happy to stay till 1, Chairman, and I don't really want to stay any longer. So I think we need to... I've been very... I've been very cooperative. I've come here. I made it clear that I need to leave at 1. I really do need to leave now, Chairman, because what we're going to do is now I'm going to be saddled with the cost of rearranging my flights and everything. And
No, she's just quickly running through the last part.
okay,
When General Khumalo testified, he in his statement, which will be made available to you at paragraph 86, he dealt with characteristics of crime syndicate and the membership and of those crime syndicates. I would like to just start at paragraph 84. He said that, perhaps I'll go straight to 86. At 86, he said, syndicate international reach and dual citizenship. And he said syndicate members who hold basically more than one citizenship in a country, providing for flexibility in movement and evasion from law enforcement, as well as access to international network and resources. He further said that they usually run their own businesses, they're entrepreneurs, and or tenderpreneurs, one of the two, in the South African context. We are aware of that. You testified that you hold more than one citizenship, and you have multiple passports. What should we make of these characteristics in line of the fact that you also have multiple citizenships? You are an entrepreneur. You have managed to, some would say, infiltrate or work with the police force. I mean, having had about 20 years experience within the police. What comment do you have to that in terms of specifically these international crime syndicates?
Well, of course, and I have to leave now when I've answered this question. An international crime syndicate has many, many aspects, not just the availability of multiple passports. In South Africa today, you probably have at least 1 million people who have multiple passports. That doesn't make them all members of a crime syndicate. If General Kamalo wants to tailor evidence to point in that direction, let him also tailor the evidence showing what crimes it is I'm alleged to have committed. Because absolutely I have not been involved in any crime syndicates of any nature whatsoever. And that, unfortunately, is that, yeah, I have reached a point now, Chairman, where I have to go.
No, Chair, he's not going to leave. He's not going to leave. She's going to ask her questions. He's not going to leave. If he leaves here, he's walking out. He's not going to leave until you release him. He's walking out of Parliament.
Yes.
Oh. Chair, he cannot be allowed. He's doing the same thing with Patoy. You can't leave here. We are appearing before us.
Unfortunately, I made it
We don't
clear.
care about your flight.
Thank you.
You're not being released here. You must be arrested. We'll open a case now.
Pardon?
We'll open a case now. This man must not be allowed to go.
I did not come here on a summons. I came here of my own free will, and I'm leaving of
We can go.
Mr. O'Sullivan.
The question that I had for him is,
Mr. O'Sullivan.
he wanted, it's,
Mi-
no, Chair,
Mr. O'Sullivan.
I told him. It's fine. Chair, it's fine. Chair, I think we've dealt with the question.
He just leave. Righteousness. Yes.
I was about to say you
We are dealing with criminals. Patoy did this. It's a fraud.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He also told me to go.
Honorable Nompan.
No, Chair, I'm saying heroes don't walk alone. Honorable Sauls forgot to escort his hero. You must escort him to the airport.
Sorry, Chair, I have to. You see, when people disregard scripture, I will not do the same. When we look at the evidence, that is done and the sacrifice is made was heroic, and it's my opinion. I will maintain. But he has holes. He's not perfect, just like all of us here are not. So I maintain, and I will not retract. Thank you.
Were you done, Advocate Muki?
So how do we move from here?
Were you done? Yes. Were you done?
I had not completed the questions, Chair.
Mr. Techano, you have observed what happened here. So will we get an advice on how this matter is taken forward?
Can we consult on that, Chair? And get back to you?
That's exactly what we are saying. is there anyone who wants to speak on this matter? After Mr. Tejana said they will consult and give us an advice.
No, Chair, I think we support that they must consult. This is something that needs to be taken very serious. The chap, just walked out of a parliamentary proceedings after he had been served under oath. So it needs to be taken serious, very serious.
Okay. Honorable Malim.
No, I wanted to say to Honorable Souls, a person can be a hero and just do the smallest thing that undermines everything else he has done, despite many advices that he has been trying to give to him. You can't insist, but it's a discussion we can take up with him outside this. You cannot say repeatedly, this can undermine the work you are doing. Da, da, da. A person still doesn't listen to you, what you are saying. You keep on saying it's a hero. A person cannot be a hero for walking out of this type of proceedings without duly being authorized by the chairperson of the proceedings. Such a person is not a hero. He also undermines Honorable Souls. He must accept, Honorable Souls, that he undermines him. He undermines all of us collectively. And we take the input that there will be an advice, and out of that advice, we can have a proper discussions. But this guy has violated the rules of Parliament. And the rules are very clear with this kind of conduct, especially in this precinct. Thanks.
Honorable Souls.
Honorable Chair, we must complete my statement. Hero with holes. Then I addressed him on the breastplate of righteousness being out of place. And that means self-righteousness. That was displayed here. I'm not in defense of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. And we saw the holes now. I stand with the House. That is disrespectful. And it must be dealt with. But you don't use that and deny what's in front of us, the work that has been done. It was heroic. I maintain. He's a hero with holes. Thank you, Chair.
A disrespectful hero.
Honorable James.
I cringe when I hear that this man is being called a hero here today. He called us criminals. He said we must lick his asses. And he walked out on us. I'm covered by what Honorable Malema said. This man was embroiled with drug cartels. Drug cartels destroying our communities, our families. Strong links proven in his statement. Has lied under oath and said he didn't receive money. And today we hail him as a hero. He is absolutely no hero to me.
No, it's fine. Honorable members, let me do this. I think we heard what Mr. Tejana has said, but I want to.
I think Mr. Skosana is went to collect our witness.
Yeah.
He's not here.
I want to thank you for. Hello, honorable members. I want to thank you for the manner in which you restrained yourself, because a situation like this one can provoke emotions. It can provoke emotions, and you end up conducting yourself in a manner undesirable. But you were able to restrain yourselves. And I want to thank you so much for that. We will get an advice from the Parliamentary Legal Services on how the matter will be taken forward. It is true that our witness has walked out of the proceedings. He denied us an opportunity to thank him for having come here. He denied us an opportunity to conclude the engagements that we have had with him in a ceremonial and cordial way. With that, we are going to call for a break, and then we will come back at 14 hours. The next witness is General Patlane, and the senior counsel and his team have until 16 hours to conclude the presentation of oral evidence with the next witness.
Thank you, Chair. May well be a lot quicker, depending also on the responses of the witness. Thank you.
Okay. Let's come back at 14 hours, honorable members.